Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Krishna Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Ah, humbug!
Happy holidays, Mr. Scrooge.
I can barely get reception outside the old town center.
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Oh Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. Everybody with your heart, Haribol. Everybody together. Everybody. Haribol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to morning Bhagavatam class. This morning we will be discussing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 3, verses 1 through verses 4. And the chapter is entitled, The External Reasons for the Appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. To me, it's a very interesting chapter. Would love to start happy that we are starting the first verse, and we are very happy that we have His Holiness Chandramali Swami with us. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you and all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, my obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, my obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jaya Jaya, Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Bhaktavinda, Sri Chaitanya Prabhu Vedan, Yapradasraya Viryataha, Sangranadhyakara Vratad, Agya Siddhanta Sanmanin. I offer my respectful obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The potency of the shelter of his lotus feet, even a fool can collect as the valuable jewels of conclusive truth from the minds of the revealed scriptures.
Maharaj, shall I go to the next verse, Maharaj?
Please.
Yes.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktivinoda. All glories to Lord Chaitanya, all glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Chandra, all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Vidya Slokera Artha, Alila Vivarana, Chakrita Slokera Artha, Suna Bhakta Gana. I have given the purport of the third verse. Now, O devotees, please listen to the meaning of the fourth with full attention. Anarpita chirancharat karuna vatirna kalo samapitam unatya ujvala rasam swapakta shriyam hari purata sundara duti kadamba sandidita sada ridaya kandir spuratu yat va tachinandanaha. Translation, may the Supreme Lord, who is known as the Son of Sachi, Srimati Sachi Devi, be transcendently situated in the innermost core of your heart. Resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, he has descended in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no other incarnation has ever offered before. The most elevated mellow of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. Purport, this is a quotation from the Vidagya Madhava 1.2, a drama compiled and edited by Srila Rupa Goswami. Umagyan Timirandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Chaksun Bilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gadave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swam Padanti Kam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This verse, right here from the Vidagya Madhava, is often quoted by the Acharyas to give a clear understanding who Lord Chaitanya is. That same Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Agyanata, what is that verse? Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Namo Mahabhadanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gaura Tristaya Namaha. This verse glorifies Lord Chaitanya. Agyanatan lambitu bujo kanakama tato sankirtanai papitado kamalaya takso. Vishwambaro dvijabaro yugadharma palo vande jagatpriyataro karuna avatara. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando Sanodido Gorodaya Pushpan Vanto Chitta Sando Namo Tumo Nudo. These verses are all in glorification of that same Supreme Personality of Godhead who appeared in this age of Kali in order to give what has never been given before, as it's mentioned here, the mellow of conjugal love. In this age of Kali is considered to be the most fallen and most degraded of all ages. And yet there is one bright light, and that bright light is the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is in his most magnificent and magnanimous form as a devotee of the Lord. As it says here, is the son of Srimati Sachi Devi. His mother is mentioned here, but it mentions that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is non-different than the Super Soul. He is also called Gauranga. As it's mentioned here, he has a color like molten gold. As Srimati Radharani is known as Gaurangi, because of her limbs are golden in color. So also Lord Chaitanya, when he appears, he is Krishna himself. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nohyonya. But he takes on the color of Srimati Radharani and also her mood of devotion. And he's also teaching from the position of the devotee what is the highest form of love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is him himself. He's teaching love to himself in his own position as a pure devotee of the Lord. This is the most mysterious, undescribable, completely, fully transcendental definition of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because, as is said here, no other incarnation is ever offered before. When the Lord comes, he teaches devotion to himself, but he doesn't describe his intimate pastimes with his devotees in the relationship of conjugal love. And therefore, because especially in this age of Kali, no one, we emphasize that, is qualified to understand such things and will easily misunderstand such things. For Mahaprabhu has broken open the storehouse of love of God. And in that storehouse, there's unlimited sweet and most succulent fruits of love of God. He has come to distribute the fruits freely without considering who is eligible and who is not eligible. And he's doing it in the form of this Sankirtan movement. Krishna Varnam Tvasa Krishna Sangupanga Saparshadam Yagnai Sankirtanai Prayaya Janti Hi Sumedasaha. Those who have good intelligence, Sumedasaha means Medasam refers to intelligence. Su means great. Those who have good intelligence take part in worshiping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appears as his own devotee, along with his associates, weapons, and his entourage. And what do? They gather together. Udilu Aruna Kodana Baji Dwijamani Gora Amani Chagi Tatari Baji Loko Gana Gana Majilo Road. They sing and they dance, they travel throughout the villages, awakening everyone early in the morning with the Sankirtan movement. And everyone hears the sound of the mridanga. Tatari Bajilo Road. And they all wake up. Oh, it's Mahaprabhu. It is Gauranga. He is chanting with his associates. And it is so beautiful. It mentions that he has weapons in order to destroy all of the ignorance in the round. And what is his weapons? His beauty. His beauty is his weapons. It says here, he's resplendent with the radiance of molten gold. He is so beautiful. He has long arms that reach all the way down to his knees. He's about 2 meters high, and his eyes roll in love of God. They are reddish in color as he sings his own glories from the position of his own pure devotee. Just teaching and showing and experiencing his own love of God for himself, at the same time distributing freely to anyone and everyone who is a little bit pious, who's a little bit interested, even if they're not so pious, even if they're not so interested. He is especially inclined to give extra mercy to such people. Srila Prabhupada describes, using in a little bit of an analogy, what is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He gives the example. Two men are talking. One man reaches into his pocket, pulls out a large amount of money and says, here, I want to give this to you. And the other person says, no, thank you very much. You're so kind, you're so generous, you're so caring. But please, you keep it. And the man who wants to give it says, no, it is for you. So they go back and forth. And finally, the man who wants to give it, he takes it and he pushes it in the pocket of the other man. And the other man has it already, and he can't return it at that point. So this is Mahaprabhu. He's forcing us to become Krishna conscious. That's his mercy. So if we simply see his beautiful transcendental form and chant the holy names of the Lord, gradually we'll elevate our consciousness to the position of devotional service to the Lord. And if we carefully follow his instructions as given in the Srimad Bhagavatam and in other places throughout the scriptures, especially by his most intimate associates, the Goswamis of Vrindavan, particularly as we see in this Srila Rupa Goswami, the foremost. And gradually we will start entering into the mood of Sri Vrindavan Dham, which is the highest and most esoteric aspect of Krishna's Leelas. And these are only available to those who are on the highest spiritual platform. But Lord Chaitanya is giving us all a chance to reach that high spiritual platform through the process of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Through this chanting of the holy name, Golokere Pramadana, Harinam Sankirtan, Ratin Jan Milo Keni Upai, the highest form of devotional service is easily reached. One who seriously and regularly chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, both japa and kirtan, gathers their friends and families and looks for opportunities to chant the holy names of the Lord in order to taste a little bit of the nectar that Lord Chaitanya is given in the form of this Sankirtan movement. So please take shelter of Krishna's holy name and chant, dance, and distribute that mercy to each and every one you meet. As Lord Chaitanya told the Korma Brahmana, in Lord Chaitanya, when he's passing through Korma Kshetra, he stayed at the house of one Brahmana. And that Brahmana was such a paka, first-class Brahmana. Him and his family, he had a large family. They served Lord Chaitanya for 4 days, taking care of all of his personal needs, cooking very nice first-class foodstuffs for the pleasure of the Lord, and worshiping the Lord at every opportunity. And the Lord was so pleased with them that he gave his benediction. But then it was time for him to leave, so he did. And as he was leaving, the Korma Brahma was following. Lord Chaitanya turned around and says, "Where are you going?" He said, I'm going with you. He said, "You cannot do that. You have your family, you have your responsibilities." He completely rejected that. He said, no, I cannot live without you. Please allow me to go with you. And Lord Chaitanya said, by my command, be Guru, save the land. Stay where you are. Whoever you meet, whoever you come in contact with, teach them to chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Tell them about Krishna. He said, your home will become like a temple. And if you continue to do that, I guarantee you will never lose my association. And so the Korma Brahmin turned around and went back. But that instruction is there for all, especially for all householders. Chant, dance, and open your home, make it into a temple, have deities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda, and worship them nicely, offer nice foodstuffs to them, distribute that foodstuffs to others, and call together your friends and relatives and others and have kirtan. And kirtan is the principle by which we find complete and perfect happiness and elevate our consciousness to the stage of transcendental love for Krishna. And as it says here, he is unique, and he only comes once in every 1,000 yuga cycles, which is 4,320,000 years. Lord Chaitanya only comes one, no, it's actually, 4,320,000,000 years. He appears only once in that time period. And when he comes to deliver, as it says in this particular verse, the most elevated mellow devotional service, mellow of conjugal love. So this is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which he is distributing freely. And those of us who are followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has given us the legacy. Please take this mercy, taste it, and then distribute it to others. He also says, I want to distribute this storehouse of love of God, but I'm only one person. So please taste these sweet fruits of yourself and distribute them to everyone and anyone. Hare Krishna. Do we go on to the next verse or you want to
Maharaj,
stop?
yes, it's so nectarian. I was going to ask you much. It's so beautiful. We can go to the next verse, Maharaj. So beautiful.
Oops. Go to the Bengali. Purna Bhagavan Krishna Vrajendra Kumar Goloka Rajera Saha Nitya Vihar. Lord Krishna, son of King of Rajas, the Supreme Lord, he eternally enjoys transcendental pastimes in his eternal abode, Goloka, which includes Vrajadam. In the previous chapter, it has been established that Krishna, the son of Rajendra, the king of Raj, is the supreme personality of Godhead with 6 opulences. He internally enjoys transcendental variegated opulences on his planet, which is known as Goloka. The eternal pastimes of the Lord in the spiritual planet Krishna Loka are called aprakat or unmanifested. Pastimes because they are beyond the purview of the conditioned souls. Lord Krishna is always present everywhere, but when he is not present before our eyes, he is said to be aprakat or unmanifested. So here mentions about Krishna, who is always present in his supreme abode, Goloka Vrindavan, in the spiritual world. From time to time, during the calculated chronological time periods of the Lord's descent, he comes to the material world and brings the entire spiritual world with him. And he appears on this planet known as, in the area known as Vrindavan Dham, which is a prototype of the spiritual world. And there he performs his pastimes just like he does in the spiritual world. So one is called prakat and one is called aprakat. Prakat means manifested, aprakat means unmanifested. Even if you go today to Vrindavan, Krishna's pastimes are going on, but because he is not personally present, he is present through his aprakat, or his unmanifested incarnation, performing those same pastimes in the same area he did. But only those who have pure spiritual vision can experience his unmanifested pastimes in the land of Sri Vrindavan. But in the spiritual world, those pastimes are a constant feature of the spiritual world, where he enjoys, and he mentions here, he has 6 opulence. He is all beauty. He is all knowledge. He is all fame. He is all strength. He is all wealth, and he is all renunciation. Although he has the 5 powerful opulences, he's not attached to these. He uses them to serve his devotees. He uses them to perform his pastimes, but at the same time, he is very renounced because he is fully self-satisfied in himself. People want to know the nature of the Lord. He is called Atmaram. He needs nothing outside of himself because he is full in himself, and therefore he enjoys variegated aspects of himself by performing his pastimes in the spiritual world known as Goloka. Goloka Premadana Harinam Shankirtan Ratin Jan Milo Kena Upai. That this same Goloka Dham has given us the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. It's coming from Goloka. It's not part of this material world. This chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And so here it describes Krishna. He's called Rajendra. Sometimes he's called Rajendra Nandana. He is the king of Raj is Nanda Maharaj. So sometimes he is called Nanda Nandana or Nanda Sutta, Nanda Sunu. These are all names of Krishna in his relationship to his father, who he appears. Therefore, he's called, because he's the son of the king of Raj, he is called Rajendra. These are his beautiful names by which the devotees find great relish just by chanting the names of the Lord. Harinama, 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 Eva Keva, Long, Kalon, Nasteva, 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 Gatina Anyata. The chanting of the holy name of the Lord is as good as the Lord himself. It is non-different than the Lord. It manifests before all of us in the form of transcendental sound. But that sound vibration is one with the Lord, and at the same time, it's different from the Lord in the sense that it can only be experienced by those who have pure love for Krishna. We can taste a little bit of that unlimited nectar that is there in the association of Krishna through his holy name as we purify ourselves and engage in devotional service. Therefore, those who are actually serious in devotional service will chant the holy names of the Lord continuously and use the rest of their time to serve the Lord in various ways. This is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is known as Karuna Avatar. What is that verse? Sabay Avatar, Sadhu Siromani, Sevanaya Nanda Kanda. He is so magnanimous, so merciful, so kind. And along with all his six opulence, he appears to deliver that mercy to the conditioned souls. He only appeared 535 years ago, 536 years ago in a land known as Navadvip Dham. You can go there today, and we have a huge temple there, as is the Mayapur Chandrodaya. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace is right there. What is that called? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace is called Yoga Peeth. It's called Yoga Peeth. The apparent place of Lord Chaitanya. His house where he was born is still there. Surrounding that is a huge temple with many of the pastimes of the Lord being displayed in different ways, along with a beautiful temple with many deities, some of Lord Chaitanya, some of Lord Krishna, and some of his intimate associates. So every year during the Gaur Purnima festival, there is a great parikram during that time where devotees go to the different holy places and travel around and hear the glories of the Lord. Satam prasangam mama virya samvido bhavanti ritkarna krasayana kata. The chanting and glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is so nectar to one's ear and heart that the ear and heart will find a distaste for everything else once they start hearing the pastimes of the Lord and his devotees, especially his pastimes in Goloka Vrindavan as Krishna, as he manifests himself in his original form. And there's a beautiful deity of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because many people don't know about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They think that he is just maybe a very powerful, pure devotee of the Lord who have come. And there's not much evidence in this. Well, there is evidence in the scriptures, but people misunderstand or don't understand. They think Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he acted both as the Lord and as a devotee of the Lord, mostly as a devotee of the Lord, he is not the Lord himself. So people have relegate him to a lesser position, but actually he is Krishna himself. Krishna Varnas Tvata Krishna Sangupanga Saparshadam Yagyai Sankirtanai Prayai Yajanti Hi Sumedya. He is non-different than Krishna, but he has the internal mood of his own devotee, Srimati Radharani. He exhibited his pastime in her mood, and he emphasizes that mood through the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the Sankirtan movement. So he's He's very kind and very merciful and very much available to the conditioned souls. If we go to that, Prabhupada used to say every year, the devotees for the Sankirtan festival of Lord Chaitanya's appearance must come. Said every devotee in our ISKCON society must come to Mayapur and spend at least 8 days during the Gaur Purnima festival. He writes that, he speaks that also. So it's incumbent upon the devotees to come to the Holy Land, take part with all of your brothers and sisters who are coming from all of the other cultures around the world. Mayapur is the real United Nations, where there are devotees from practically every country of the world coming together to sing and dance and take part in Lord Chaitanya's wonderful Sankirtan movement. And if you go to Mayapur, you can engage in kirtan all day long. And there's plenty of prasadam there. The place is full of prasadam. The place is full of opportunities for chanting and dancing, and it's so big and it's expanding more and more and more. And more devotees are coming, more and more projects are expanding. And soon there will be a glorious temple known as the Temple of Vedic Planetarium, which was Srila Prabhupada's understanding of the future of Lord Chaitanya's movement when Lord Nityananda took, Srila Narottam Das Thakur on a parikram. He showed him all of the holy places in Sri Mayapur Dham, and he also told him soon, he said that word soon, there will be a great temple here in glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Prabhupada, using his very, very elevated intelligence, turned it into a Vedic planetarium, because people are interested in that subject matter. So in the 5th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it describes the cosmological alignment of all of the planets and the relationship between the different levels of existence, from the highest to the lowest, from the lowest to the highest. And because people don't have a proper understanding, the scientists cannot give us the correct understanding of the cosmological arrangement. They use their telescopes and microscopes and various instruments, but they can't understand. These telescopes and microscopes are created by them, and it says a conditioned soul is fraught with 4 defects. He has imperfect senses. He becomes illusioned. He makes mistakes, and he has a cheating propensity. So these scientists fall into the category of speculators, and they have no knowledge of what is actually beyond the realm of this material world in terms of the cosmic alliances. I was just in Govardhan Echo Village, and there was a huge conference that came together many devotee scientists and other people who are also in the Vedic culture. And they were discussing this topic of cosmic alignment with the different planets. And Srila Prabhupada wanted to show this to the world. And he said, once this temple was built, people will flock to our temple in the millions just to see this arrangement. So this is the grand plan of the Acharyas and of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to give everyone an opportunity to take advantage of the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, come to the holy places, meet the devotees of the Lord, take some wonderful Krishna prasadam, and engage in some form of devotional service which will purify their existence, which they can free themselves from all of their suffering, comes by way of living in this material world. This is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. Srila Prabhupada would say he would say, you may have a very big brain. You may be known as being very intelligent. You may have demonstrated that in so many ways. If so, then take your good intelligence and just try to understand the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Use your intelligence in that way to understand his mercy. And then Srila Prabhupada, after saying everything, he said, and you will not be able to understand. It is not possible to understand how merciful Lord Chaitanya is. When Prabhupada came to Atlanta, Georgia in 1975, he came into the temple and he sat in his Vyasasan, and on the altar are big, beautiful brass deities of Gaur Nitai. The center altar, they're dancing in ecstasy. And on the right side is Radha and Krishna. And on the left side is Lord Jagannath. But Mahaprabhu is in the middle. And when Prabhupada started to talk about Lord Chaitanya, he was forced to stop it because he became so overwhelmed with loving emotions, just thinking about how merciful Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was, just thinking how merciful. Prabhupada couldn't speak anymore. He remained silent and in a mood of ecstasy. And there were hundreds of devotees there present. And it was said that that moment was like 100 years. That one moment seemed so long. But in that one moment, everyone got an insight of Srila Prabhupada's love for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Thank you so much, Marge, for this beautiful nectarian class. I think we can go on forever. It's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing the glories a little bit, at least the glories of Lord Chaitanya. As you said, that Prabhupada said that we can use the intelligence, but we still won't understand and know. So that was really powerful. We'd like to ask devotees if any questions, any clarification, anything, please do unmute yourself. I'm going to stop sharing so that we can have each other's association. Would request devotees to please, if you can, show your camera. Yes, Sridevi, you are on it. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Ansiya. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for reminding us how merciful Lord Chaitanya is and how much he wants that each one of us take this movement seriously and encourage others to get aboard this great good fortune we have received in the form of chanting the holy names and this process of bhakti. So today I was challenged by a man here who said that you ladies, you just want to sit on the Vyasasan and you want to compete with the men and what else he said? Oh my God, he said a whole bunch of things. And I was like, I said, but he said in Srila Prabhupada's time, women never gave classes. And he knows I gave.
Wait. That's not true. That is not true. He doesn't know. Jamuna gave class. I think Mother Vishaka, she also gave class. This is not true. And especially, let me see. Oh yeah. What's her name? Jadharani. She also gave class. And Prabhupada encouraged her to give class, and Prabhupada listened to her class. So this person is not very well versed in the history, nor is he nor is he have any understanding of the movement. Prabhupada said, Prabhupada had women giving class, and he said if women can also give class. And I mean, you have to be able to give a class. It's not that you just sit there and just speak because you're in a woman's body. No, but that opportunity is available. And Prabhupada it wasn't restrictive to just the men giving class.
So Guru Maharaj, when I pointed out that, Yamuna Mataji gave class, she led Kirtan, he said, don't misquote Prabhupada just because you have an agenda. I said, but did Yamuna Mataji give class? He said, that was once, she gave one class. It's not that all the GBC meetings, he asked the women to sit and give class to the men and, talk to the men. If you really want to preach, go out there and talk to the public. Why you want to sit on the Vyasasana and give class? Finally, I said, my Guru Maharaj's order to me is to give class. This is my service. So that's why I do the service. He said, okay, but why are women on this, basically on this bandwagon that we should be equal with the men? And I think this Vaishnavi Diksha Guru issue again has come up. So that's another thing, Guru Maharaj, I wanted to ask. Is it true that Srila Prabhupada wanted ladies also to be Vaishnavi Diksha Gurus?
I don't think that's for discussion right now, because it's such a wide subject matter. It's such a wide subject matter, and whatever I say, somebody can counter it, and whatever someone else says, I can also encounter it. Let's just leave it at that, because it's this conference is not to discuss this subject matter. It's too wide. But Prabhupada did say, when he was asked that he referred to certain qualified people who are on the highest platform, although they're in a woman's body, can also take the position of a spiritual master. He mentions that. How that is manifested, how that is understood, what is the protocol, what is the organizational arrangements, these things are still contentious. But you can understand it mostly from Srila Prabhupada's books. Because there's a lot of statements that are contradictory in this subject matter, and that's why it still hasn't been, hasn't come to any clear conclusion yet.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much for your guidance.
Yeah, it's still, the discussions are still going on. There are people who are saying one side, there are the people who are saying the other side. All of these people are also very elevated personalities. But I can give you a video by a very exalted person who I think has a clear understanding of the whole thing. Anybody who wants that video, I'll be happy to share it with him. I will give it to, I'll send it to Anasuya in Harrisburg, and anybody who wants it can contact her. And I think this explanation is the best that I've heard so far.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Continue to ask questions.
I think I also heard Sridevi from someone, I'm trying to think who, that even Mother Rukmini was also, Shri Prabhupada really liked Mother Rukmini's, with this one class or something, I heard also, but yes, yeah. But yes, I will definitely, share with those who would like to get the video. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Is that the same Rukmini who's online today? Prabhupada disciple?
No, Maharaj. This Rukmini is Nitya Gopal's wife in Harrisburg. The Rukmini is Anuttama Prabhu's wife, Rukmini, Mother Rukmini.
Yeah. Yeah. See, there were many incidences of women giving classes, not just Jamuna, but if you read the life of what's her name? Sometimes I'm bad with names. Jadharani has written her own memoirs, a beautiful book. And it really describes the beginning of the Hare Krishna movement all the way up. And she mentions how she gave class. Prabhupada was there. She cites the incident, all of the references.
So how can we get all this knowledge, Guru Maharaj, when we are faced with these challenges and we are blank about, the history or what Srila Prabhupada wants? Basically, we have to become well-read to counter all this, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You have to read and understand. You have to hear regularly. If you hear regularly, I mean, when I say regularly, that means every day for at least a few hours a day, you have to stay in contact with this knowledge. That means you have to read and also, whenever it's possible, listen to the recorded lectures. Because it's not only something that you gain knowledge, you're getting transcendental vibration, which keeps you on the spiritual platform. We can't just sit and chant all day. It's not possible. But we can also hear and read and make up that time with this type of activity. Like, for instance, I'll give you my own example. When I take breakfast or when I take lunch, I always listen to Srila Prabhupada. I turn on Prabhupada's lectures for breakfast and for lunch. And then also I'm reading Bhagavatam during the day. So we have to do that. Otherwise, you'll be bewildered by anybody's concocted statements. But this person didn't sound like a nice person, did he? He wasn't. Sound like a super male chauvinist.
I was quite, taken aback actually. I felt it was like some kind of an attack, I was nice. I was very polite.
You could have did. You could have cursed him to take birth as a woman in his next life. You should have did that.
I've done that already, Guru Maharaj. My ex is going to come back as a woman.
And tell him
Thanks.
an ugly one, so nobody will bother him either at the same time.
You got the green light, Shridev, so just do it.
Guru Maharaj, your sense of humor is just hilarious. Actually, I was asked in the class by one man, what do you think about what is going on? You would never be able to give this class downstairs. You would never be able to give this class to, all the, what he said, brahmacharis or something like that. And then I just said, when once all the ladies were relegated to the first floor, Srila Prabhupada just said, tell all the ladies that they're dancing on the heads of the men.
Haribo.
What did you say?
Tell all the ladies they're dancing on the heads of the men. That will make them happy. So you have that same so humorous.
Prabhupada said that the women in our movement are as good as the men in the movement. That is a direct statement. But then he told the person he was talking with, don't try to make that experiment though. In other words, don't try to find out personally. Just take my word for it. He said.
I think there's so much energy lost in all this unnecessarily fighting, quarreling. Whoever can do something, we just encourage them in their service, and that's good enough, isn't it, Guru Maharaj? Why we should sit and worry whether it's a man or a woman? If they're able to inspire people, they're able to give a nice class, it doesn't matter.
This is Kali Yuga. Parikshit Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you, all glories to you, Prabhupada. I don't have a question, but I'm speaking to express such great appreciation for this morning's lecture. It's like the best, in a sense, alarm to wake us up in the morning. Not that we weren't awake, but it's like, to wake up and hear about Lord Chaitanya going straight to our hearts. This lecture that talks about his greatness, it talks about the connection with him and Srimati Radharani, it talks about his associates. And when you mentioned early in the morning, he wakes up, and early in the morning, he's already in the streets, and there's kirtan, and I was just imagining, you open your door and here's Lord Chaitanya in the golden form, beautiful, and chanting the holy name. How would you not join? It'd be crazy not to join. So yeah, he was giving his expressing how he was giving his the love of God has so freely, breaking the storehouse and just giving the Lord. And Maharaj, and I know you're humble, but I'm gonna have to tell you this. You are blessed with such a way of describing the same things we heard with such words that just wake you up. It just simply wakes you up. Since 1993, I've heard this. It's been going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So we are very fortunate to have you here. It's like hearing my spiritual master all over again. There's no difference. There is no difference. There is no difference. So devotees, let me go on a little bit because I'm really, really emotional about this, how Krishna so mercifully kept you on the planet so we can still hear and hear and hear and hear and hear. Don't worry too much about the male, female, this issue that Maharaj said, this is Kali Yuga. People are going to, my Guru Maharaj said the same thing. Haribo, this is Kali Yuga. This is how he put it. It's Haribo. So what is surprising? Don't spend time talking about this subject. We know you're not the body. Srila Prabhupada said it. You're going to go back to the spiritual world by the mercy of the spiritual master. What do you have to worry about? Do what you can and let the people who want to do things in a negative way, you pray for them because they're in trouble already. Okay, that's a fact. They are in trouble already. But just keep taking in the nectar because it is so much nectar. Focus on that. Focus on that instead, my dear sister. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. And beautifully said about what goes on that we don't really care about. As Prabhupada says, the dogs will bark, but the caravan rolls on.
It's interesting, Mars, that Parikshit mentioned 1993, and I clearly remember 1993, the first time in DC in IFAST. I think it was one evening. Yeah, we was definitely a night, and we were just sitting. Me, Parikshit, one other devotee, and Brahmadas, March. I don't know if you remember Brahmadas. We were sitting right before your feet for like hours and hours till like 8, 9, 10. It was like so nice. 93. I remember that clearly. Yes, Namrata, please go ahead.
Was that F Street?
9th and F Street. Yes, Maharaj.
Yes, 9th and F Street, Northeast, Washington, D.C. Yeah.
Yes, Maharaj. You were sitting on the couch.
Sweet memories of those days.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah.
I'll never
Big eye opener.
Yeah, you're sitting on the love seat, and it was 4 of us, and I know it was me, Parikshit, one of the boy I forgot, and Brahmadas, and we were just soaking it in.
A lot of people got purified that one night. Boy, I mean,
Yeah.
the Maharaj is humble, so we don't want. We'll tell you later on, the disciples, what the effect that it had on us.
So sweet. Yes, Namrata.
Maharaj is not online, I will tell you, because he doesn't like to hear about himself like that. I won't push it, but believe me, you can see from my face and how it's both of us
Yeah,
smiling. A lot of people.
I also got purified that night.
I don't know. I mean, it was wonderful. So yeah, don't worry about these things. People would talk. People would talk. There are people. I'm sorry if I could say something else. There are people that I've heard that were distributing books in the airport. There was one Mataji had books, and there was a guy, that was she tried to get interested in the books, and the guy just knocked the book bag, and all the books fell on the floor, and all they just kept going. And Mataji did what? He picked up all the books and went on to the next person and continued. The Papa said, you smile and you just go on.
Yes,
Nothing is going to stop this movement. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare
We need to hear this.
Move over to Mayapur with Anusuya.
I will stay in Pennsylvania. I have enough service here. I cannot expand myself any further.
I'll say whatever the Lord wants me to do at this point. I'm just hanging on. Physically, I'm just hanging on, but then, we'll do whatever we can. The love is there and we'll express it wherever we go. Just pray for us that we stick to the process all of the time. You never assume that you will always stick to the process, because mine is very strong. You just pray that you stick to the process. That's what will make you stay. Hare Krishna.
Keep good association and you'll be able to do it easily.
Yes, Namrata, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. I don't have a question though, but I just want to ask you, when can I come to bother you, Guru Maharaj?
I think I'm giving class tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Will it be there in all the days when you're present, or not all the days?
I don't know. I don't have a schedule.
Okay.
They asked me to give class today, but I wasn't able to. So I'm assuming they're going to ask me for tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, Guru Maharaj. I'll sure. I wanted to come to see you, and I have some book talks also with you. So looking forward to meet you, Guru Maharaj.
Did you get my email response today?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, I did. There's one statement which I really need to clarify, so I have emailed you back. So,
okay.
Thank you.
Any questions from devotees? Anything that's coming on your mind? Maharaj, I have a question, Maharaj. In your class earlier, you were mentioning about not many people are aware or know or understand Lord Chaitanya because he came in the mood of a devotee more than of the Supreme Lord. And then we see Mayapur and then the TOVP growing so big. And is it still the situation, Maharaj, even with the TOVP still in construction, that Lord Chaitanya is still not popularly known?
Depends what part of India you're from. And for Westerners, we're just teaching people about who Lord Chaitanya is. Yeah, but the evidence of Lord Chaitanya's position is Shastra. There is at least 50 statements or more in different Shastras, Puranas, Mahabharata, Srimad Bhagavatam, and other scriptures, kind of illustrating Lord Chaitanya as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But that's all. Everything is in Shastra, and it's also coming from the Acharyas. So unless they hear from these people and accept it, they will think Lord Chaitanya is a very powerful devotee of God, or maybe he's even an incarnation, but he's not. He's the source of all incarnation. He is Krishna himself.
And in the West, Marsh, meaning in here in the US, how can we really what's the word, make the glories of Lord Chaitanya known more? Because
Spread the
I do
Sankirtan
see it
movement.
sometimes here too. I'm sorry, March.
Spread the Sankirtan movement. That's all.
Okay.
Have kirtan everywhere.
Mm.
Distribute prasadam and speak about Lord Chaitanya. I'm giving a class on the 2nd of January to a group of people, and the subject is Lord Chaitanya. It's at class starts at I think it's 7:15 IST time, which is about a little bit later. 7:15 would be about around 9:45, something like that, Eastern Standard Time, I think.
And that's on Monday, so that's perfect.
Yeah, I'll post it on our. We'll have Srimati
Okay.
post the information on that along with the Zoom link.
Okay. Sure,
So
Mark.
it should be easy for people in America to hear because it's a little bit later
Yeah.
than the normal class. Mhm.
Yes, March. Yes. It's so nice to hear Lord Chaitanya's pastimes and classes. It's so sweet.
Hmm.
Thank you, Marge. Any other questions? Sorry, Marge.
Yes, Srimati, do you have that information available for January 2nd?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisance. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Guru Maharaj, I have Sridevi Mataji posted it already in the God family group. And I am even Shamlal Prabhu reminded me. I have the link, Guru Maharaj. I'll post it.
Yeah, you send it to Anasuya in Harrisburg and she can
Sure.
share it with her followers there.
Yes, Marge,
Yes.
because Monday is a day off here, so it works perfect.
Okay.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you.
Any other questions from devotees? Anything's coming to your mind? Any clarification? Anything? Let me go down the list so I don't miss anybody here. Okay, Marge, would you like to end with the round chanting, or do you have a class to give? I don't want to disturb your appointments.
No, I don't. Yeah, I'm okay. First time. Be right back.
Thank you, Marge. Maharaj, there's a question here from Dear Krishna before I forget, Maharaj. He says, Maharaj, how to start a weekly Chaitanya Charitamrita study group? Any guidance would be helpful.
Just gather a few people and start it, and then start publicizing it. And as you get it going, people will come. I guess it's the old American adage, just do it. And it'll happen, no doubt, because it's in line with devotional life. It'll happen.
And Maharaj, speaking about that, I know that there are other books like Chaitanya Mangala, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, those little other books. Is it better? should we start with the little ones and then go to the CC, or it doesn't matter, Maharaj?
No, start with the Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's what Prabhupada gave us. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. But there are things you can refer to other statements regarding Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in different places.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Mhm. You'll definitely be successful. Anything centered around Lord Chaitanya is guaranteed to develop. Our whole movement is centered around him. We're not centered around Krishna so much. We're mostly centered around Lord Chaitanya. Because
Maharaj, that's a powerful statement that you just said, Maharaj. I'm sorry to jump into the japa time. If the movement is centered around Lord Chaitanya and not around Krishna, then why does it appear the other way around?
No, it's the tattva I'm talking about, not so much the leelas.
Okay.
It's the tattva Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave as the foundation by which we worship Lord Krishna. It's his instructions, his teachings, which are the foundation by which we execute devotional service. And they are coming from the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, who are the immediate predecessor acharyas of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talks only about Krishna, and then the 6 Goswami. But the knowledge and the philosophy is coming from the followers of Lord Chaitanya. In other words, Lord Chaitanya is our guidance for understanding everything. For everything. If we want to enter into Vrindavan, it's through the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and the philosophy given to us by Lord Chaitanya. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's books on Lord Chaitanya, Srila Narottam Das Thakur's songs, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur's songs, all centered around Lord Chaitanya.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Sorry for interjecting when it's about japa time.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. I want to say one thing before we continue with the japa. I'm going to chant for an extended period of time. Anybody who wants to stay on can stay on. If you have some reason to leave, it's understandable.
Okay,
but I'll be standing 4 rounds. So if anybody
Okay.
wants to join me for the whole 4 rounds, anyway.
okay. Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. 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 Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama, Hare Rama. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. 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 Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare 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 Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Ram Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. 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 Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. 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 Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Marsh, for such a wonderful class and guiding us through 4 rounds of chanting. I'm sure we all really enjoyed it. And thank you to all the devotees for joining us. Vancha Kaptibhyascha, Kripasindabhevcha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha, Srila Prabhupada ki. His Holiness Chandramali Swami ki.
Jai.
And have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
One minute, devotees, 1 minute, 1 minute. Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, this is a personal request. Can you send me a email describing the situation with Dr. Bren?
Yes, Marge, I can do that. Actually, I'll ask Prikshit to Sunny because he's been in touch with him more. Yes, I will do that, Marge.
Yeah, I would appreciate that.
I will definitely do it. Yeah, I'll definitely do it. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Krishna Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees.
Hare Bol Madan Gopal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Rajesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mati.
Hare
Lovely call. Thank you.
Thank you.